some request that I had, which was, hey, can you create like a playlist, all right, like a dedicated playlist for us to understand Dominican Spanish because we really want to learn some Dominican Spanish. Well, here's the thing. So today I'm gonna teach you some Dominican Spanish. Actually, I'm gonna record the whole video series today. Um, Things that you want to understand. So if you haven't watched what I'm gonna call lesson 0, all right, so please go back and take a look at this lesson, which again is lesson 0. So you're gonna find that under courses here on YouTube, and through this video series I'm gonna explain what choices Dominican speakers make when it comes to their words, phrases, expressions in certain themes or certain situations. All right. So, this what is gonna happen. So I'm going to be taking two subjects, probably three. The first two subjects would be or people in this case. Let me rephrase that. People. It'll be Sofia and Alberto. So I'm gonna go over some conversations. Every conversation is gonna have a different theme, and through that, I'm gonna explain you the words they use. All right. Now, something else that you have to understand is like Dominican Spanish is like every other Spanish dialect. Okay, so if you go to Europe, meaning Spain in this case, or if you go to Mexico and when someone wants to say I want in Spanish, it'll sound yo quiero. All right, so if you go to Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico, for example, which is a very similar dialect with the Cuban dialect. I guess those three are very similar. So people also is gonna say yo quiero in Dominican Republic. Okay, so people's gonna use the same personal pronoun and the same verb to say I want, which again is yo quiero. Meaning Dominican Republic is just colloquial expressions and casual speech, which we're gonna cover today. And that's pretty much it. Welcome to lesson 1, casual Dominican Spanish greetings. Let's see how people greet each other in Dominican Republic. Well, if people know each other, so chances are they're gonna use como tú estás, como tú estás. Now, if people don't know each other, so then they're gonna use something like saludos, which means greetings, or they're gonna try to sound more articulated and say ¿Cómo estás? To say how are you doing? However, I want to take you back to ¿Cómo tú estás?, which one more time is how are you? And that's what makes the difference between regular standard Spanish and Dominican Spanish. Dominican Spanish is just the casual way in which Dominicans interact within each other. So that's what we call Dominican Spanish. And that's what we're going to focus on this video series that I have for you guys. Another casual greeting that we have in Dominican Republic and we use almost all the time, it's que lo que. Que lo que just means what's up, how is it going, what's new. All that is que lo que. But que lo que is not the only colloquial way to say what's up in Dominican Republic. You're also gonna hear people saying dímelo or dime a ver to say what's up or how is it going. And it's funny because it might sound like you're saying like tell it to me, but in reality it's more like hey, spit it out. What's up? How is it going? Now, before we get into what our today's casual Dominican Spanish conversation sounds like, let's review the different ways in which Dominicans say I am fine or estoy bien in Spanish. So, the first one would be todo bien. Todo bien, that's one that I hear a lot. The next one would be tranquilo or tranquila. And the next one would be manso or mansa. Um, Now let's hear and let's see how the Dominican Spanish conversation between Sofia and Alberto sounds like. So, first, Sofía, hola, dímelo, qué lo que, todo bien, ¿y tú? Tranquila, ¿cómo tú estás? Yo estoy bien, gracias. Oye, sí, ven acá, dale. Mira, ¿cómo tú te llamas? Yo soy Alberto, mucho gusto. Yo soy Sofía. ¿De dónde tú eres? And this is all. This is our casual Dominican Spanish conversation for the day. Now, feel free to go back and listen to it one more time and probably over and over if you want to. Now, I want to test your understanding. So, and my question is, how is Sophia doing in this conversation? All right. How is she? Just let me know in the comments.